Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. This is a short series that we do. We call it FinTips. We just try to teach you something new, quick, get the hell out of the way so you can go get your dough straight. That's kind of our motto here. Whatever it takes to get your dough straight. We work with clients of all sizes. We help with everything from your investments, your personal finances, and anything in between, no matter how much money you have. Today I'm talking to my retirees, soon-to-be retirees, people working later into life. We're from Florida. We're based here in Florida. If you ever come by the studio, we're in Florida. So you can imagine we deal with a few bit of retirees being in the great Sunshine State where everybody loves to come and retire. And so we're sort of like well-versed in some of these things that come up for the retirees. As well as the kids. We do a lot of kids online here, of course, younger investors. Anyways, here's the thing. You know, as of now, I mean, this could change, but as of now, when you turn 70 and a half, the year that you turn 70 and a half, you have to start taking what's known as RMDs, or required minimum distributions from your 401k, your IRA, etc. But I get this a lot. People go, well, I'm 70. I want to keep working. I don't have anything else I want to do. So why should I be forced to take money out of my 401k if I'm going to keep working, right? Well, actually, there's some rules to this, right? So we'll cover these here. I'm going to cover two of the most common ones here today, but basically if you're still working at 70 and a half, you can delay the RMDs until April 1st following the year that you actually retire, right? When you officially call it quits. So if you're 72, 73, or whatever it may be. So it's not that year, it's the year, April 1st following the year. They give you closer to the tax deadline there. So that's how it works. Now, there's a whole bunch of layers to this rule. It can be pretty complex, but I get two questions all the time, right? The first one is, and I love this one because we're fiduciaries, right? I don't have anything to sell, right? So if a customer calls and has a question, they can kind of open up, and they do, about whatever it is without fear of being sold something or pushed into something that doesn't fit. So inevitably, people go, hey, I'm gonna keep working to delay my RMDs. What is considered still working, Dustin? I want to know, like, what if I just work like 5 hours a week? Does that count? Well, actually, as of now, the IRS doesn't really define what it means to be still working, right? They actually put it back on the employer, and they say, if the employer considers you still working, then it doesn't really matter how many hours you work or how much time you put into it, as long as they consider you still working, right? Now, here's the key. You have to still be working, whatever that means to you, for the full year. You can't just like stop in the middle of the year. If you do, RMDs, right? If you're going to work the full year, then yeah, sure, you were still working for the full year. So it's not a very specific answer, but the IRS isn't very specific about it. So as long as you're still working, the employer considers you still working, you're good to go. So no need to feel like you're getting away with something if you worked out some special deal with your boss where you can work 10 hours or something. Maybe that's what you want to do. That's awesome. All right. The second question I get is, okay, I've thought about this. If I have a 401k and I have an IRA, the 401k requires me to take the minimum distributions at 70 and a half. So does the IRA. However, if you just told me if I'm still working, I can delay the RMDs in my 401k, but I still have to take them out of the IRA, right? I mean, that sucks. The question is, can I take the IRA, and if my employer will allow it, could I roll it into my 401k so that all that money is in my still working 401k? And the answer is yes, right? It's a smart move if you think about it, right? So if your employer allows it, you could take your IRA while you're still working after the age of 70 and a half, roll it into your 401k. Nobody's the wiser, right? It's just a big pile of money in an account that you're still working at, which means you could delay your RMDs. So it's very clever, but think about it. Why would you do that? Well, imagine if you're making, so 78.9 or something is the top of the 12% tax bracket if you're married filing jointly. So let's assume that you are married filing jointly. Your salary is $78,000 for the year. You're in the 12% tax bracket, right? Say your spouse doesn't make anything. You're just $78,000. Well, you're delaying your 401k minimum distributions, but your IRA, if you have to start taking minimum distributions out of that, depending on the size of your account, by taking RMDs out of your IRA, 22% tax bracket, or you just pushed yourself into that, right? So the idea there would be, why would I volunteer 22% if I can sneak it into the 401k and not have to deal with it? I don't have any percent, right? Because I get to delay my RMDs. And that's why people would decide to do that if it makes sense for you. Now, sucks for us because I've had that in the past where a customer says, I love you, Dustin, but I'm going to roll it into the 401k. If you're telling me that's the right thing to do, then I got to do it. And I'm like, hell yeah, you're saving money. You got to do it. You'll come back to me in the future. You will retire one day. Keep us in mind, right? But as a fiduciary, that's the right answer to tell that person in that case. And I will tell you the right answer every time. Of course, happy to help. Anyways, that's my little tip and trick there, or sort of questions that I get for RMDs if you're still working past the age of 70 and a half. I hope that was helpful for you. Very short. If you are watching this, of course, keep us in mind at Jazz Wealth. If it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how much money you have, or how much money you don't have, we'll work with you no matter what size you are and help you with all these little tips and things like this so that you can keep your dough straight. That means not pay too much in taxes. Be strategic about what you do, and of course, I'm happy to help. So keep us in mind, jazzwealth.com if you want to check us out. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.